Hi, everybody. How's it going? Probably terrible, or anything like me. But I wanted to talk about something. Do another little pep talk, I guess. like I put in the title, "Impossible Challenge," right? But hey, I like tackling the impossible at times. So one thing I wanted to sort of meander about a little bit, and instead of pep talk a little, is something that I see a lot of schizoids do all the time. Um, especially if they're younger, in their 20s, they might give up on some of this in their 30s or just keep it going. But something they often do is they constantly are seeking the construction of some sense of self, um, and also basically searching for all knowledge exclusively in their sort of internal world, in their own mind, the recesses of their own mind. And the manner in which maybe they interact with a variety of media, right? Be it something like literature or film or video games or anything at all. An interaction from afar. It's always occurring. Right? Something in which they can essentially experience or learn about the experience through a safe, distant uh, means or medium. And that obviously, I'm never going to say that doesn't have a value. It has an extreme value. Right? The amount of introspection you do on almost any topic has a significant amount of value and usefulness. And I absolutely adore that about schizoids. Is that's not something they do often, but sometimes it can be to their own detriment. And I know there's people out there that might think, oh, well, how could it be to my own detriment, right? It's safe here. It's a place in which I can, seek knowledge and explore it, and get maybe outside sources and then integrate them, and so on and so forth, right? But what's interesting to note is this kind of lacking, or not lacking, but this sort of means of doing this without actually interacting with the world. And I'm not just always talking about people necessarily, though interacting with the world oftentimes involves people. But basically making the conscious choice to not put themselves in situations or places in which there is a greater risk of people becoming involved and wanting to talk to you and interact with you and get to know you and things like that. Right? I know that's anathema to many of us in many different ways. Um, and so, due to our sensitivity to intrusion. But what I think is important to note is that though you can acquire a significant amount of knowledge this way, living like that, there are pieces of information, there are pieces of yourself, essentially, that don't exist inside you exclusively. And I think that's what I'm trying to put forward here. And some of you might think heresy, sacrilege. How dare you? How dare you, sir, say that there are parts of me that don't actually exist currently within me. Right? And what I mean by that, and why I'm encouraging you, as frightening or uncomfortable, or I mean, I'm not saying just take a leap of faith or anything, but I'm encouraging that you explore your world more. Um, and that even means exploring things that might require other people to be involved in some capacity. And I understand, I comprehend 100% why that is something that you definitely don't want to do. But uh, the thing I want to put forward here in this little video is there are things about yourself that you cannot discover through pure introspection. There are risks one must take. There are interactions one could never imagine could exist for someone like yourself, because there's always a lot of assumptions probably running through your mind regarding what would and wouldn't work for you, or what would and wouldn't be appropriate for you to attempt, right? There are events, there are possibilities that you yourself have not imagined that occur, be they your own biases regarding your sense of self, or lack of esteem, or whatever you want to call it, or a lack of or imposter syndrome that you struggle with. I know I have. Nonetheless, there are things out there. There are conversations to be had. There are interactions to be had. There are locations to be explored, both physical and mentally, that require taking the risk of intermingling with your fellow man. And unfortunately, by not taking said risks, and I'm not saying all the time, and obviously cautiously, by not taking said risks, there are bits of knowledge about the world and yourself that you may never discover, or pieces that might fit in places that can make certain parts of you feel more whole, a little more complete. Now, some of you may think, "Oh, I'm already complete. I'm fine. I don't need those pieces." And that's fine. I'm not saying anybody has to do this. I'm just making a humble suggestion. So perhaps reconceptualize a little bit how you view yourself interacting with the world. Because there is knowledge to be had in exploring even I guess what would be the neurotypical landscape. Because, well, I mean, they're kind of in charge of most things. So you have to learn to navigate all that in order to get to maybe some of the things you have goals or aspire to discover. So in any case, I think that's all I'm trying to say. Very, very kind of, I know I'm terrible at doing anything in any concise way, but in a very long-winded way, I'm saying there may be parts of yourself and knowledge of the world that is inaccessible, no matter how much you read, no matter how much you watch from a distance, no matter how much you gander. There are some things that could only be learned through experience, taking the actual actions. There's knowledge to be acquired there, if knowledge is what you like. Experiences of a type that maybe you would exclusively interpret in a way that maybe even those doing that same experience would never. And that would be your knowledge of that experience, which schizoids being oftentimes neurodivergent in nature will find that that might be the case. So many of the experiences you read about or learn about might not even match up with what would be your own sort of unique take. I mean, God knows you and I have many unique takes on many things. I don't see why a physical or like tangible material experience with the external world would not be the same. So that's my little bit of, again, I don't even know if it's much of a pep talk, but hopefully it inspires somebody to go, it's something to think about. maybe I will try to experience more things and not just through proxy. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Please tune into my Twitch streams. They're on usually, unless I cancel. Tuesday nights, 7 p.m., Thursday nights, 7 p.m., Saturday nights, 7 p.m., sometimes Sunday if I can't do Saturday. And we talk about whatever subjects and all kinds of different things. And I try to bring a topic to the table. And even when I got like 12, 13, 15 people in there, and you know how we be. It's mostly lurkers are showing up at there. I used to be a lurker, so I can't really hate. Um, and yeah, if you like that, if you like this channel, and also if you want to find more schizoids to maybe relate your experiences with, or just find a place that's pretty reasonable and chill for people going through similar stuff, check out the Zoid Void server on Discord. It's incredibly chill in there, especially if you go through the application process and get into if you're schizoid and you get into the schizoid portions. In any case, thanks a lot, guys. And oh, yeah, subscribe, like, and if you like me already, please support me on Patreon. Please support me with PayPal. It's all links in the descriptions, all blah, 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 whatever. Throw my link around on the Schizoid Reddit. Do whatever you want. Everything helps out. Oh, and I have a Twitter, but nobody follows me. Okay, bye now.